Alright, welcome to our first episode of the first chapter series. I am your lovely host, Miss Disney. And our first book is a little off season, but the reason why I chose it is because the third book will be coming out January 5th. The series that I've chosen for our first episode is Disney Chills. It's kind of like a horror story, a Disney version. Now, there's only one familiar character, and as you can see, it's Ursula, and a new character. This actually takes place modern time, and it kind of features a Disney villain. This book, the first book that we're going to be reading, is Part of Your Nightmare. My dear, sweet child, go ahead. Don't be afraid. 11-year-old Shelly Anderson just wants to be popular. Her parents have split, and she had to start over at a new school with different classes, a brand new swim team, and an unfamiliar social scene. So, what if she just wants the cool kids to like her? Is that really too much to ask? So when Shelly finds a mysterious nautilus shell that summons the infamous sea witch Ursula, she jumps at the chance to make a deal that would solidify her as one of the coolest girls in school. But when Shelly's wish quickly goes belly up, she must figure out how to back out of the witch's deal before it forever binds her fate. Grab your nightlight, dear reader, and prepare to be chilled. Chapter 1, Under the Sea. Cold water enveloped Shelly as she plunged. She spiraled down through what appeared to be tangles of kelp. What was happening to her? Where was she going? Finally, she somersaulted to a stop in a dim underwater cavern. She began to swim, holding her breath, not sure where she was going, just knowing she needed to find an exit, to find air, but seaweed snagged at her ankles, trapping her. Leave here. Turn back, came a tiny, pained voice as clear as day, even that far underwater. Shelly looked down and saw faces on the seaweed. And with her heart racing and air running out, she realized it wasn't seaweed at all, but withered gray life forms with shallow eyes and gaping, contorted mouths. They were nothing she had ever studied or seen in the aquarium. They couldn't be talking to her, though. She must have imagined it. A current gripped her and sucked her down. She tried to swim against it, but it was too strong. Her lungs ached, fit to burst. Suddenly, an enormous crystal ball clamped around her, and her mouth opened in a silent scream. But then the water drained from the enclosure, and she was able to breathe, though she spluttered and spat and pounded her fists on the curved crystal. "Help! Let me out!" she yelled. Everything looked distorted through the glass. She could barely make out the underwater cavern. Glass bottles lined the rough hind walls, and there were glowing anemones in the eyes of those things. She gasped as something huge, bulbous, and black swam past her. What was that? Lose something, dear? The same deep, rich voice she'd heard in her little brother's bedroom emanated from the shadowy corner of the cavern. So coy. A black tentacle shot out of the gloom and wrapped on the glass. Shelly cowered, fear gripping her. What do you want?" she gasped.